Our demanding boss made us work overtime. He even tried to motivate us with a false promise. Work hard tonight, and next month we'll celebrate insomnia. But after that night, everyone but me, all four of the people who stayed late, died violent deaths. The demanding boss's death was the most gruesome. Even stranger, 3 unidentified bodies also appeared in the company. 01. Working overtime at the company at night, I felt a feeling of drowsiness in the middle of the night, and I fell asleep on my desk. The next day, I was woken up by a policeman. He patted me on the shoulder, and I was a little confused. Seeing that the office was full of uniforms, I was a little confused, and I saw several other colleagues lying on the table, seemingly still sleeping. The police who woke me up took out a long white handkerchief to cover my head and said, "Don't let me see my surroundings. Get out with us first." I was taken to a police car, and an inch-headed man in a police uniform was crossing his legs, with a worn-out notebook spread on his knees, and his eyes were nailed to my face like a falcon. From the moment I woke up, I realized that something was wrong with the company, but the police didn't tell me anything, so I quickly asked, "What's wrong with our company? Is everyone else still sleeping? Why only me? Come down alone. What are you here for?" Hearing my series of questions, the plainclothes man stared straight into my eyes, his black stubble shaking and shaking, like unshaved sandpaper, obviously waiting for me to speak. After I finished asking, his eyes flashed sharply, looking fierce and indifferent. "Are you embarrassed to ask me what's wrong? 8 people in your company died last night." The man's oppression pressed down like a mountain, and the fierce light in his eyes almost cut off my flesh. 7. You are the only one alive. You don't know what's going on. Hearing him ask, I shook my head in confusion. "I don't know." "What do you not know? If we confess sooner, we won't waste time on each other. Don't pretend to be stupid here. We will get the evidence sooner or later." But I really didn't know anything, and his fierce appearance startled me, and I couldn't help but tremble. Then the car door opened, and a policewoman held 2 bottles of iced Coke, with water droplets condensed on the walls of the can, and she handed me a bottle. "Your name is Richard, right? 6-year-old employees of this company, drink iced. Happy." The policewoman was very gentle, and I saw her name on her work badge, Alex. Officer Tang pointed to his beard again. "Eric is a grumpy person. Don't be surprised. The main reason is that the cleaners found out that 7 people in your company died this morning, and you 8 people worked overtime last night, and you are the only one alive." 8 people? I was just frightened by Eric, and before I could react, I just remembered it. We are a small company, with only 5 employees. Last night, plus the boss and me, 5 people worked overtime. Who are the extra 3 people? So I said immediately, 7 people died? How can it be? There are only 5 of us in total. Who are the other 2? 02. Now it was Eric and Alex's turn to look at each other. "What do you mean?" After drinking Coke, I was taken to the police station for investigation. On the way to the police station, I thought about everything that happened last night, and I had lingering fears. It means I slept with 7 corpses all night. I didn't know the situation at the scene. After all, I was taken away by the police covering my face after waking up. The police took my blood, and soon the investigation report came out, and they found that I had sleeping pills. The white light was shining in my eyes, and Alex and Eric were sitting across from me. They looked at my phone and retrieved my chat history with others to find out my past relationships with several other colleagues. Eric still had a stinky black face. "We checked your chat history, you told your friends that you wish your boss would die, and you still picked up your boss online, and you scolded him as a dog, often exploiting and squeezing your value." I said helplessly, "Who doesn't want their boss to have an accident? A group of capitalists, comrades, our bosses. It's really disgusting, not to mention the old card reimbursement, and you can only stay in the lowest-priced hotel on business trips. The set plan is often changed, and at any time it looks for opportunities to deduct our wages." I just complained to my friend and scolded him. I cursed him for being hit by a big truck, but I didn't really want to kill him. Alex smiled. "It's better to say less like this online. These can be used as a motive for you to commit crimes." I nodded. "Pay attention next time." And then I added, "But that doesn't count as evidence, right? I want my boss to die, but I don't want my colleagues to die. And there is surveillance. Won't you adjust the surveillance?" Eric was indignant. "The surveillance of your entire building is all decorations. It's broken a long time ago. You say you don't want your colleague to die? Then how do you explain these chat records? 03. On May 28th, 2025, you complained to your friends, saying that your colleague on the other side secretly complained, saying that you were fishing, and you hoped that he would be reincarnated as soon as possible, be a loudspeaker in his next life, and complain well. On June 3rd, 2025, you complained that you saw your colleague stealing your computer, ordering takeout with your mobile phone, and not giving money. You scolded him for being shameless, and you said that this kind of person should be shot. I was a little embarrassed. I did often complain to my friends about these strange things. Alex listened with his hands folded, and a smile on his face kept smiling. Richard, I can tell that you have a lot of resentment towards them. And Eric pointed at me and said, you probably have an antisocial personality. I was really wronged. Before work, I was obviously a passionate man full of love and momentum. It was going to work that turned me into a gossip who loved to complain and swear. I don't have a sociopath, but I quickly explained. I'm just venting my emotions. If I don't tell my friends about this, I'll go to work. Crazy. Eric stared into my eyes and said, you just want them to die? You keep saying that you don't know what happened last night. Then tell us that all the details that passed last night cannot be let go. I took a deep breath and began to think about what happened last night. Yesterday at 5 o'clock in the evening, I was getting off work, and then the dog was old. Well, our boss stopped me and said he wanted to work overtime. Eric and Alex began to record in their notebooks, which sounded like ants crawling over them. I can only stay and work overtime. Our project was fought for a long time ago. For a big project, we have been fighting for almost half a year, and the project profit can be about 700,000 yuan, which is already a big project for our company. So the boss asked us to complete the initial planning that night. I paused and continued. During this period, I have been sitting at my desk, not going anywhere, just busy making what I have in my hand. That night, until almost 7 o'clock, we were actually allowed to order takeout for 50 takeaway meals per person. Maybe our boss was in a good mood at the time. He was usually very stingy. Eric looked up and asked, order takeout? Are you all from one family? I replied, at the beginning, we were going to order one, because there are not many 50 meal labels. It annoyed everyone, but everyone decided to go their own way. If everyone is together, they can eat something good and don't have to pay more for delivery fee. However, one of our colleagues said that he didn't eat coriander or tofu, and Alex and Eric looked at each other. So you all ordered different takeout? It was also a different delivery person who sent, well, different delivery people. Alex asked again. Besides takeaway, have you eaten anything else? I shook my head, but suddenly thought of something. That's right. Almost in the early morning, a colleague invited us to drink milk tea at his own expense, but I had high uric acid and didn't drink it, and my boss didn't drink it. Eric nodded. So you don't drink the same thing, but after our investigation, each of you has a sleeping ingredient. Yes, we didn't drink the same thing. We didn't eat the same thing. Alex scratched his head. It's strange, you didn't eat the same thing, but you all ingested sleeping pills. I thought about it. Could someone throw something into what I was eating while I was away? It's possible. Have you ever left your desk halfway through? I nodded. The boss called me halfway. I left temporarily, about 10 minutes. The murderer is very likely to take advantage of this time to drop sleeping pills. Alex answered, but Eric immediately said, or you cast it yourself to hide people's eyes. It's not impossible. I said a little angrily. I don't even know how they died. As soon as you wake up, you will let me carry such a big black pot, and I want to complain to you. Eric said with a smile. You want to know how they died? Simple. We originally wanted to interrogate you by surprise to see your relationship with this case. After all, you are currently a suspect, but from the current situation, you are smarter than we think. Eric praised me, but I couldn't be happy. I could see that he had completely used me as a murderer. I quickly explained. Again, their deaths have nothing to do with me. I am also a victim. Alex also took out a few photos and handed them to me and said, this is the situation at the scene today, and the 7 dead people are on it. I took the photo, just glanced at it, and almost threw it out. Because I am usually a little timid, I don't even dare to watch horror movies. But at this moment, my colleagues who usually get along day and night appeared in front of me with the appearance of death, without any obscuration. Although it was separated from the photo, my heart was still pounding, and a sense of fear and numbness surged in my heart. 04. In the photo, they are all lying on the table, and their deaths are clearly visible. Everyone had a strangulation mark on their necks, obviously strangled. And the boss's death was even more terrifying. He had several knife holes on his body, and his face was full of knife wounds, and he was cut horizontally and vertically. But I don't know the other 3 bodies at all. They were all lying quietly on the floor, 2 women and 1 man. Very strange. Seeing these photos, I felt the urge to vomit, and my stomach surged and I retched. Alex stepped forward and patted me on the back. They died while I was asleep? Who are these 3 people? Eric looked unhappy. Richard, we have checked the sleeping pills in your body, and there are not many ingredients. If there is movement around, you will definitely wake up immediately, but you tell us that you don't know anything. Then Eric deduced. You must have held a grudge against all of them, and we looked at your phone. You were going to go on a date with the girl you liked last night, and you were ready to confess, but you let her go. She sent you a message saying that you were not suitable, so you became even more angry and had the urge to kill. I shook my head. I didn't. I had already made plans to leave. I hate them, just leave the job and never see them again. That's right. You have the idea of leaving. Eric smiled. But it's been almost a year since you had this idea, and you kept telling your friends last year that you were leaving, but you still haven't left. Your hatred is getting deeper and deeper. You are becoming more and more uncomfortable, and the pressure is increasing, and you need it urgently. Sheen. I stood up impatiently, and suddenly there was a thunderclap. Thunder flashed outside, and I saw the boss being stabbed, and he shouted in pain. Richard, save me. But a man in a black raincoat, holding a knife in his hand, stabbed him in the abdomen without hesitation, and the boss ran to the office. I was overjoyed, and this dog day was finally retributed. Then a person suddenly got up on the ground. I didn't know that person. He glanced at me, and then walked towards the door again, with a very strange pace. He walked towards the door, but I had no other thoughts. After all, it was in a dream, and it was normal to dream about everything. I don't know what happened next. I should have fallen asleep again. Hearing my words, both of Alex's faces were not very good looking, and Eric, who had always been hostile to me, spoke at night. If you didn't lie, the person you saw should be the murderer, provided you are not fabricating. Alex also nagged. If you didn't lie, the murderer killed in front of you. Why didn't you kill you? Is it a provocation or something else? Or have you forgotten that you are not dead yet? I didn't have any wounds on my body, so Alex and Eric looked even more strange. They don't know what the reason is. The murderer will spare me. If I am not the murderer, what is the reason? Even I don't know it myself. Let's investigate the identities of those 3 people first. Eric and Alex left, leaving me at the police station. About 3 hours later, almost lunchtime, Alex came over with a bowl of noodles. Let's eat first. She handed me a bowl of fragrant beef noodles, and I immediately devoured it. Ask while eating. Officer Tang, have you found out the matter? What are the identities of those 3 people? You have to return my innocence quickly. It's really uncomfortable to stay like this. Alex suddenly stared at me and said, Actually, I'm very strange since we found you. You have behaved very calmly, like it's just chickens and ducks. There is no other emotion but surprise. I shook my head helplessly. As a cow and horse, what emotions can I have? I have been tortured into a job. I don't want to think about anything. I don't want to do anything, and now I have no emotions at all. I feel like I've become a walking dead at work. After saying this, Eric stared into my eyes. I smiled. I have investigated your past, and you used to be a person who would take revenge. That was before. Now I am kind and calm, and I am playing with people. Really? I heard that you used to do everything recklessly, and you must succeed in revenge. For example, if someone gets your school bag dirty, you will break his stationery box. What's even more terrifying is that once someone broke your glasses, you smashed someone else's head open. Hearing Eric say this, I realized that he had taken the trouble to investigate me and asked rhetorically, couldn't you have some temper when you were young at that time? Nature is hard to change. I don't want to tell you anymore. I'll complain to you when I go out. I was depressed, and Eric simply treated me like a suspect. However, so many people suddenly died around me, and there were colleagues I got along with day and night. But I didn't feel sad at all, only surprise and surprise. Alex didn't say anything more, and after I finished eating, she cleared the table and went out again. And I sat there, still thinking carefully about last night. What caused all my colleagues to die? Is the one I saw the murderer or a dream? I remember when I ordered takeout, I ordered Mr. Rice and the others ordered separately. Chicken pot and McDonald's. We all ate our own food and continued to work after eating. Oh, by the way, there was a small episode in the middle of the meal. The female colleague who loved to be a monster ate a hair in the dish and shouted to give the merchant a bad review. However, other colleagues persuaded her because she had given bad reviews to others before, and some people came to the company to quarrel with her. She was still uncomfortable, although she didn't give the merchant a bad review, but she pointed the finger at me again. He said that my voice was purring when I ate, like a pig eating. I'm relatively approachable in the office, so everyone likes to joke with me. But that demon-loving colleague treats me as a bully, and every time he gets angry, he will vent to me. I pretend not to hear it and put on headphones. But I only had one thought in my heart. Beast, go to death. Then I was called to the office by my boss, who scolded me for a typo in my project book, saying that I was a waste. Looking at the boss's crazy face, I only had one thought in my mind at the time. That is, to scratch his face. It is best not to recognize his pig face. Just like his death in the photo. 06. Besides that, what happened last night? I thought about it again, and I also had a conflict with 2 other colleagues. I went to the toilet halfway through. Because I was too tired, I drove a golden shovel, and the complaining colleague heard that I was playing games in the toilet, so he went directly to the boss to complain, saying that I was playing games. The boss openly and secretly yelled at me, saying that I like playing games so much, why don't I become a world champion? I said I was too tired, take a break from my head, and he asked me to go to work overtime quickly, otherwise don't get off work tomorrow, and continue to work. Then I continued to work on the project, and when I was overwhelmed, the oldest employee came over and asked me to help him put the bottled water on it. I casually said, I'm busy, no time. He was in a hurry. He said that he was changing the bottled water every time, but this time I didn't change it, which was simply disrespectful and didn't take the old employee seriously. I was very angry at the time, and I started talking to him directly, and he said that his back hurt for a while, and then he said that his head was dizzy, and after saying so much, he just didn't carry the bucket. I was really tired of hearing it and scolded him directly. Today, I just don't raise my hand. I want to drink water and do it myself. Do you have no hands or feet? He was so angry that he threw the water glass in his hand on my table, cursing in his mouth. I looked at his bad look. I was really angry, and I wanted to strangle him directly. Look at him sticking out his tongue, looking pained. But this thought is only fleeting. Yes, last night, because of overtime and harassing me with these colleagues, my emotions are on the verge of exploding. Looking back now, I feel more and more uncertain. Could it be that last night, after I passed out, a personality took over my thinking? Then solve everyone all, because I hate these people. I only have one thought in my heart. Let them all die? These are all secrets in my heart, and naturally, I didn't tell the 2 police officers. But I understand that I am just thinking about it in my heart, and I don't really want to kill it. How did they die? Just when I was still frowning and not knowing why, Alex and Eric came again. This time Eric came in, holding a few pieces of paper in his hand, and when he saw me, his face was even more angry. Eric slapped the paper directly on the table next to him. Richard, do you think we police officers eat dry food? You obviously know all 3 of these people. Do you know them all? How could I possibly know them? He threw the paper over. The older man is your boss's father. Haven't you seen me think about it? And shake my head. Why do I remember his father? For his father has publicly humiliated you in public. Said you are here to mess around. Let your boss fire you. You hold a grudge against him. 07. I thought about it, and there is indeed such a thing. Once the boss was on a business trip, I was idle, and all the work in my hands was done, so I wanted to play with my mobile phone. But as soon as I opened the game, an old man came in front of me. I pay you a salary at work, so you can play with your mobile phone? I saw that it was an old man I had never seen before, so I could only say, the work is done, rest for a while. Take a break, you rest. The old man was very angry. He snatched my phone and threw it on the ground, and cursed at the same time. If you don't learn anything, you won't do well with our money. If you don't want to do it, get out. I'll let my son fire you. Thinking of the old man's appearance, I nodded and said, I did see it. It seems to be the boss's father. These 2 people, one is the security guard of your parking lot, and the other is the aunt of your restaurant downstairs. I really don't remember the other two, Eric sneered. You pretend to be like that. Think about it. Do you have a conflict with them? Seeing Eric like this, I recalled it carefully. It was a rainy day, I was driving my broken secondhand car, and I was a little late due to the traffic jam. Because the boss is not allowed to be late, I planned to park the car in the reserved parking space first, and then come down to move the car after punching the card. The damn rainstorm was still falling, smashing the roof of the car. I just turned the car into the ever-crowded parking lot downstairs of the company and saw the only empty seat near the elevator entrance. I stuffed the front of the car in, and as soon as I turned off the engine, the door hadn't opened a crack. A security guard in an ill-fitting raincoat rushed over, his face almost pressed against my car window, and the rain flowed down the brim of his greasy hat. He slapped the glass hard, his voice piercing through the rain curtains and car windows, harsh and arrogant. Who asked you to stop here? This is a reserved seat. Left. Hurry up and go. I quickly took out a cigarette and said, Master, stop for 2 minutes. Punch a card and come back immediately. Not even 2 minutes. It is said that reservation is reservation. Left. Can't understand people. He spat on stars mixed with rain, and his fingers almost poked my face. The other hand was already pressed on the rubber baton on his waist, and his eyes were full of the kind of ferocity and pride that the people at the bottom would infinitely magnify when they grabbed a trace of power. He also threw the cigarette I gave him on the ground. My irritability because I was late was also ignited. What the are you yelling at? Where is it written that this broken place is reserved? I pay the parking fee every day, and I have to look at your face when I park a car. It's amazing to pay. Rules are rules. If you don't drive away, believe it or not, I will ask someone to tow your car away. He was even more energetic, and the baton snapped on my rearview mirror, shaking the body. At that moment, looking at his face twisted and deformed in the rain, a violent impulse rushed straight to the top of his head. I really want to hit the accelerator and see him fly out like a broken sack. But I still held back. I just felt irritated in my heart. Fuck it. Even a guard dog can ride on my head. As for the restaurant aunt, one day I worked overtime at noon. My stomach was empty. I was hungry and panicked. And last night the project roared and rushed into the community cafeteria downstairs, wanting to hurry up and grab a bite to eat. It is the meal, the crowd, the greasy sweat, and the smell of the food are mixed, which is suffocating. Finally got in line. I jumped in line alone. I knew her. She was a store in a nearby canteen. Queue up. I frowned. Not loud, but clear enough. The fat aunt turned her head abruptly and looked me up and down, her triangular eyes full of contempt and impatience. What are you shouting about? Didn't you see me busy? Are you in a hurry? Can you die after a while? I have no eyesight at all. Her mouth was like a barrage of cannons, and the spit stars almost sprayed on my face. So unruly at such a young age. Deserve to be hungry. The diners around me cast curious or numb glances, piercing my back like needles. Hunger, humiliation just now, and insults are like gasoline poured on the sparks in my heart. I stared at her shiny fat face, looking at her fat lips that were opening and closing and spitting foul language, and there was only one crazy thought in my mind. Kill her and make her stinky mouth unable to say a word again. Exercise. What the is it? 08. Thinking about it all, I didn't deny it and nodded at Eric. I may have been overworked over time, so I didn't recognize it because I was insane for a while. Eric stared at me and said, You have had conflicts with these people, and you are the only one alive at the crime scene. Now you are the biggest suspect, and the deaths of these people must be related to you. I asked unconvincedly, Officer Joe, has anyone said that you are very nervous and have some paranoia? It's not good. Eric asked angrily. What did you say? It's really unfortunate for us flat-headed people to be police officers. Eric sneered. I've seen a lot of people like you. He is usually perverse, harmless to humans and animals, but he is more ruthless than anyone else. My eyes never missed. Whether you are the murderer or not, time will tell. I met Eric's eyes and suddenly said half-jokingly, I admit, I thought about them dying. But I'm too timid to kill. I'm here. The family did not even dare to kill fish. So, police officer, do you just want others to die and break the law? Then guess if I am thinking about you dying at this moment. 09. Eric's eyes instantly became sharp, and he settled on me. Wanting them to die is your motive. You are not timid. I will find out all this sooner or later. What a difficult guy. I licked my dry lips and said to Eric, I need a lawyer. Just as I said this, Alex answered the phone, and she answered and hummed a few times. Then look at me, then at Eric. There were clues on the criminal investigation side, and they found that night, someone was riding a battery car passing by the company on several nearby streets. Eric's face was strange. He glanced at me, and then said quickly, Let's go? Go and see. I was acquitted, and they investigated that the cyclist dropped a knife as he passed a path. The blood on that knife matched our boss's blood exactly. I was also very concerned about the case, and soon the results of the police investigation came out. The killer was a delivery man. When I saw the delivery man, I was still a little confused. It wasn't until Alex came to me that he told me the details of the case and apologized for Eric's previous questioning of me, and I figured it all out. Alex said, I'm sorry, Eric is a little busy. He asked me to apologize for him. This has nothing to do with you. I said, It's nothing, it's all a misunderstanding. After all, I was the only one alive at the time, and I thought it must be the one I killed. They will only believe what they believe, don't take it to heart. Alex comforted me, but I sighed. It's a pity that I can't find a class now. Those companies think I'm a broom star. No one wants me. I can only find a place to be a security guard. Alex sympathized with me, and then she continued. The ins and outs of this case are actually very strange. I asked, So what the hell is going on? 10. I still remember what I said before, that there is a person in our company who likes to be a monster. In addition to being a monster for us and not satisfied with ordering takeout, I also like to give bad reviews. She was very dissatisfied with the food sent by the merchant that night, so she secretly gave the merchant a bad review behind our backs. The key is that she gave the merchant a bad review, and she also ordered a bad review to the delivery man. The innocent delivery man laid down his gun because of this. It just so happened that in those days, the delivery man encountered a major event at home, and his emotions were already on the verge of collapse. When he sent us to our company before, he was also bullied by several people in our company. So the anger in his heart exploded to its peak that day, and it happened that the milk tea ordered by someone was also delivered to our company. So he put some sleeping pills in the milk tea. I was called into the office by my boss and criticized, so I didn't see him. Therefore, I didn't see the old employee who wanted to drink water urging him to help change the water quickly. He didn't speak, helped us carry the water, and put sleeping pills in the water. The purpose is to put us all to sleep. My boss and I didn't drink milk tea, but we drank bottled water. And the delivery man was not idle before we sent the medicine, so he went to find two people. One is the security guard who makes things difficult for him, and the other is the canteen proprietress who is weird every time he goes to buy water. These two people are also strange, and the security guard has to scold the delivery man for delivering food without getting out of the car every time, and he is disrespectful to him. The proprietress of the canteen said that he didn't give money to buy things, but the delivery man gave it and showed evidence, but he was still scolded as a thief by the proprietress' wife. These accumulated anger finally erupted, and the delivery man decided to deal with them. He first tricked the security guard into our company's corridor, and the installer said that there was something that needed to be repaired, and then raided and strangled the security guard from behind. Then there was the proprietress who used the excuse that our company had a lot of paper shells and asked the proprietress to collect them. After the money-hungry commissary proprietress came, she was also raided by him. Then he came to our company to prepare to deal with those of us who had taken sleeping pills. He was wearing a raincoat and dealt with my colleagues and bosses one by one. As for my boss, he hated him even more, just because once the boss drove his Mercedes-Benz, opened the door and hit the delivery man, and scolded the delivery man for not having long eyes. He even asked the delivery man to compensate, and when the traffic police finally came, the boss spat at the delivery man, saying that he was a stinky liar. The delivery man's hatred for the boss turned into a sharp blade in his hand and stabbed wildly. And the boss's father, who couldn't sleep at night, came to the company to see his son and happened to meet the delivery man to commit murder, so he was solved by the delivery boy. The delivery man knew that the surveillance of our entire office building and the company was always bad, so he put all the bodies in the company, hoping to be found later, and took advantage of this time to escape. The sleeping pills and the bottled water I drank didn't contain much, so I stood up in a daze, just when I saw the canteen aunt who was just strangled and wanted to escape for help and was directly killed by the delivery man. It's just that why didn't the delivery guy do anything to me? And I was awake and saw him committing the murder, and Alex's reply made me break out in a cold sweat. She said, "Because you are different from a few others." 11. The delivery guy said you were very polite, and he said that every time he delivered food to you, you would say thank you to him. And you also brought him water to drink, helped him press the elevator, and waited for him. Another time, he was injured, and you gave him medicine. I was stunned. I couldn't imagine that my politeness to others could one day become the reason for my survival. It's really a causal cycle. Alex said to me, "Today's society is too complicated, and everyone is holding back a breath of anger. Whether you go to work or whatever, you must be polite to others outside, just like you." I nodded in agreement, and after Alex left, I took out a pack of cigarettes, lit one, and put it in my mouth. But I saw a police car parked not far away, and Eric was in the window. He stared at me from a distance, his eyes calm and deep. I saluted him. Even though the murderer has been caught, he still doubts me. In fact, I am right to doubt me. After all, I really want my colleagues and bosses to die. Although everyone has thought about causing misfortune to their bosses and colleagues, it is only limited to wanting to vent their anger. Unlike me, what I think is a real and unabashed idea. Looking at the traffic on the street and the people coming and going, I couldn't help but think of the first time I saw the delivery guy. At that time, his takeaway was stolen, and he was holding a knife, planning to find a cat to abuse and kill to vent his anger. I understand that this little brother is definitely not psychologically healthy. Sure enough, once when I was waiting for the elevator, I saw him rushing over with a fierce face, and he kept muttering, "I'm going to kill that security guard. Dead security. Cheap security." After that, I also saw him clashing with our colleagues, and he kept murmuring, "Kill you. You all have to die." Since then, I have been very friendly to him, because I understand that he is an emotionally unstable person. But if everyone else messes with him, I'm sure he'll definitely break out. So when I saw that he was delivering food to the demon-loving colleague, and it happened that the colleague wanted to complain about him, I secretly told my colleague who loves to be a monster. I heard that if you report the delivery person together, you can get a free order. I just want the delivery man to kill him and help me take revenge. It's just that I didn't expect that he was far more terrifying than I thought, and even the security guard and the commissary aunt were implicated. But it can be regarded as a big problem in my heart. After I finished smoking a cigarette, I couldn't help but hum a song. As long as everyone gives a little love, the world will become a beautiful world. End of full text.